Kevin Durant tried his level best to force himself out of Brooklyn, but it just wasn't meant to be for the superstar. After nearly 2 months of rumors and speculation, KD's set to stay with the Nets for the upcoming season, and things could get pretty awkward for him. We'll be taking a look at why he couldn't get his move and everything related to the deal. Let's begin.
But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Starting with KD's failure to secure trade away from Brooklyn. After falling out with the front office and the coaching staff, Kevin Durant issued an ultimatum to Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, asking him to choose between him or firing Sean Marks and Steve Nash. The response from Tsai was unexpected, as he revealed that he had no intentions of letting his staff go and reiterated his support to the front office too. That certainly didn't sit right with KD, who was expecting a change. KD believes that Steve Nash can't take the Nets to the finals, and also believes that the front office isn't ambitious enough in building a good side. While we agree with the first point and believe that Marks isn't exactly the most ambitious of GMs, they easily could have had worse. Imagine having Rob Pelinka. Either way, KD didn't get his way, and when he realized just how little leverage he had, the 12-time All-Star had no option but to stay put in Brooklyn. We know that KD's decision to stay wouldn't necessarily suggest that things are fine between everyone at the franchise. There's definitely drama loading, and we could get some interesting developments over the next couple of months from Brooklyn. In fact, the front office wasn't the one that got KD to stay. Rather, it was Kyrie Irving, as per reports, who convinced KD to run it back one more time. Next up, NBA exec reveals what went wrong for Durant. Kevin Durant tried his best to force Brooklyn's hand, and they were ready to let him go if they were to get an offer worthy of selling the superstar. The closest they reportedly got was a trade package headlined by Jaylen Brown from Boston, and the Nets rejected the offer, hoping for something more to be tempted into letting KD go. As per an NBA executive, though, KD made a huge mistake, and it wasn't in his handling of the situation. The exec believes that KD's biggest mistake was signing that massive 4-year contract with the Nets last year, which made the Nets far more confident about keeping the superstar. He added that KD should have gone down the LeBron route and opted for a shorter-term deal, which would have helped him retain the leverage and force the Nets' hand whenever he needed to. The exec pointed out that Durant needed to bet on himself like LeBron and realized that he could get a similar deal at any other franchise. Of course, there's a reason for doubting, considering his body is fragile and he's quite injury-prone, and he ended up paying the price for it by signing that massive contract. Moving on, what to expect from KD and the Nets this year? With KD set to stay with the Nets, what can we expect? Is there more drama to come? Would the two sides bury their issues and try to push ahead together for the championship? These are some important questions, and the Nets fans are rightly concerned about the situation. We believe that we haven't seen the end of this drama, and there's more likely to follow this season. KD isn't someone who shuts up and just goes about his business. He speaks out, albeit cryptically, but does so for sure. We expect all that to happen. Steve Nash has certainly lost the support of KD, if he ever had it in the first place, that is, and that's a problem for the Nets, as far as the franchise and the fans are concerned. We're not sure if either side is looking to take the higher road and solve their issues, but we do know that it won't be high on their priority lists. KD's got no reason to resolve the issues, and Nash, well, he seems like a good guy, but there's a limit to what he can take too. And the biggest problem is the fact that Nash is actually not good enough to take the Nets to a championship. He's not the CV that other coaches do, and he's not tactically good enough to be even given the chance to play around with such a superb squad. The Nets are shooting themselves in the foot by not replacing him, and another early exit in the playoffs could really test KD's patience. Lastly, what's next for KD's future? From potential retirement to forcing a move, we got the full blow from Kevin Durant this summer. As per reports, retirement was actually a major consideration for him. If he wasn't going to get his move away from the Nets, he was planning to retire. Now that he's decided to stay in Brooklyn, at least for the time being, let's take a look at what to expect from KD in the coming weeks and months. We think he'll push for a move in January. It's unlikely to get a good offer in January, but he'll definitely get a better one next offseason. More importantly, we feel that the Nets will decrease their valuation of the superstar as well, and that might be the biggest reason that he actually ends up moving. All in all, if there's an early exit in the playoffs for the Nets, we might see Joe Tsai firing Steve Nash. Who knows? If that happens, KD could end up staying for another season. Unlike this summer, there will be a bigger list of potential landing spots for Durant. There were many options this summer too, but for a move to actually happen, the Nets would need to bring their valuation down. Once that happens, we expect all the big fish in the market to try for Durant and get him too. KD would push for it too, as he chases another ring before retirement. Now, in other news, for First up, Charles Barkley and Shaq criticized Durant. Charles Barkley made the headlines for calling Kevin Durant Mr. Miserable and proceeded to call him an abject failure for his failed trade away from Brooklyn. It's quite safe to say that Barkley does not like Kevin Durant and has many reasons for opposing most things he does. In fact, Chuck suggested that the old players didn't respect Durant because he piggybacked on the Warriors to land 2 of his rings and hasn't found success whenever he's been the sole superhero. It's a little harsh, even when you consider Chuck's standards. But that wasn't all. Barkley's criticism was backed by Big Shaq, who says that he agrees with Chuck's criticism. He said that KD wasn't the bus driver for the Warriors despite winning the championship for Golden State. Shaq further added that if you're the guy and you ain't get it done, that means you failed. Now, the only way Durant can actually shut this criticism up is by winning a championship with the Nets. If he does that, he'll truly have earned the support of the legends. Next up, Kyrie compares KD to LeBron. Kyrie Irving almost always had an issue playing second fiddle. The biggest reason why the super duo of Kyrie and LeBron broke up despite being so good together, and now the point guard has compared Kevin Durant to LeBron in the same vein. He's always wanted to be the main man and believes that playing with Kevin Durant and LeBron James never gave him that opportunity. We believe that he's not wrong. Of course, your performances should help you become the central figure in the team, but it's kind of unfair how people look back at the Cavs' win against the Warriors in 2016 and remember the block by LeBron, but not the final shot by Irving. At the same time, though, it's probably true that he can share the spotlight more with someone like KD rather than LeBron, considering the Kings considered the greatest ever to play the sport. Even if he can win the Nets a championship, we feel Kyrie would be much more content with his career, although he already should be given just how special a player he's been. Ending with, NBA Insider speculates where KD will end up. According to some new reports, many rival GMs in the sport are hoping to acquire the services of Kevin Durant, and they believe that the tensions between the Nets and the 12-time All-Star are far from over. In fact, the report even said that there's a strong chance KD's traded before the headline of the current offseason, and it wouldn't be surprising if there's a major twist in the tale. Even if he does end up staying, many rival franchises are hopeful to sign the sharpshooter at any time, with January the earliest possibility after the current offseason. Either way, most insiders think that KD won't be in Brooklyn the year after the current one and are biding their time to make an offer. That's a wrap for this video. Where do you think Kevin Durant will end up playing after next season? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.